Good evening, everyone. Zoning Board of Appeals for July 25th, 2024 is in session. First item on the agenda, approval of the minutes from June 27th, 2024.
Motion to approve the minutes from June 27th, 2024.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. The administrative actions, the board recognition, reorganization, excuse me. I guess we can do that tonight because all our members are here. So it's time to reorg the board. We need a chair, a vice chair, and I believe it's a recording secretary or clerk. So I'm chair of the meeting tonight, but I'm not chair, and I nominate, or I make a motion for Nancy Rigo to remain as chair.
Second.
That was a quick second on that one. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So now we need somebody for, you're welcome. We need somebody for vice chair.
I nominate Rob.
Second.
All in favor for Rob Began as vice chair?
Aye.
Thank you. And we need a clerk.
Nominate Dan for clerk.
I nominate Mike for clerk.
Ooh. Okay, so we got a second for Mike. I don't have a second for you.
Second.
Second for who? We've got a nomination. Excuse me? Who are you seconding?
Mike.
Mike. Okay. All in favor for Mike?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, boy.
All right.
What happens when you miss meetings?
Mike is our new clerk.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's good. All right. So, first item on the agenda tonight. Continued hearing for Brenda Cook on behalf of Donald and Lori Payne under Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 8, as a party aggrieved by a decision made by the building inspector in an email dated May 13, 2024, to recognize a second dwelling unit. Said property is located at 91 Ronald Drive, assesses map 71, lot 7, zoned residential. Voting members on this, Nancy, myself, and Dan. That's why Nancy's here virtually. All right, welcome back.
Thank you.
So when we left before, we were looking for more information. I believe we have all our information that we needed. Any questions for the applicant? We just wanted
Do you have any questions?
some clarity on our end. Anything you'd like to say?
No, first of all, my name is Michael Bednarz. I'm Brendan Cook's colleague. He's currently on his honeymoon, so we allowed him to do that. I'm here on his behalf. With me is Lori Payne and her husband, Donald Payne, as well. For the purposes of today, we'd be happy to rest on the papers, but if there's any specific questions you'd like to ask, I'll be more than happy to try to answer those for you.
I don't have any questions.
Any questions? Ms. Rigo?
None for me, thank you.
Nothing, okay. All right, so at this time, being a public hearing, we'll open it to the public. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak? Seeing no one. Anything else you'd like to say? We're ready to vote. We got all the information we needed.
No, I mean, everything has been laid out in the papers.
Okay. Somebody'd like to make a motion to close both parts of the
So
hearing?
moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Any discussion?
None from me.
Okay. So if somebody would like to make a motion, now on a party aggrieved, so there's no confusion, we make a motion in the affirmative, and if you vote yes, then you are voting to uphold the building commissioner's decision. If you vote negative as a nay, you're voting for the applicant. Okay? Everyone's clear on that?
And I think on this one, Rob, on this one, we actually need to call out everybody's name on this one, what they vote. So myself, Dan, and you, we need to, when you call it out for a vote, you have to follow my person.
We will do a roll call vote.
Yes,
Okay,
So just clarity, a nay vote is for the applicant, and we recognize it as a dwelling, a second dwelling.
a nay vote would be for the applicant, and it'll stay as it is with no problems.
right, with a no vote, correct,
With a
yeah.
no vote. With a yes vote, we are voting in favor of the building commissioner, saying that they will have to go further.
Thank
And
you. Yep.
Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion?
You were going to make the motion.
Yes.
You can. You
All
can.
right, I'll make the motion. I make a motion to approve
Yeah.
under Mass Law General, for Brenda Cook on behalf of Donald and Lori Payne, under Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 8, as a party aggrieved to a decision made by the building inspector in an email dated May 13, 2024, to recognize a second dwelling. Said property is located at 91 Ronald Drive, Assessors Map 71, Lot 7, Zone Residential.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. I vote, let's do a all in favor. I vote yes. Nancy?
So I vote for the applicant, so I vote no.
Nancy votes no.
I vote no.
Dan votes no. So the motion is not approved. You're all set.
Thank you
So
very
it is a
much.
non-conforming pre-existing dwelling. That's what.
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, you won.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was very confusing. It was very confusing.
All right, next item on the agenda. Sorry about the name. Chu and Nadia Long? That's pretty close. For a variance under section 5.3.2 of the Tewksbury zoning bylaw for rear yard setbacks to construct a 15 by 20 rear deck as shown on plans filed with this board. Said property is located at 80 Algonquin Drive, Assessors Map 85, Lot 80, Zone Residential. Excuse me for 1 minute. Nancy, if you would like to take off, thank you for interrupting your vacation to come and visit us.
Oh, no worries. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, guys.
Enjoy your vacation. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Right there. Who would you like to have on this?
Dan, Rob, and Joe.
Okay, so the voting members on this, Dan, myself, and Joe. Okay. Good evening. If you could state your name and address for the record.
My name is Charles Luong, and this is my wife Nadia Luong, and the address is at 80 Algonquin Drive in Tewksbury, Mass.
Thank you. Tell us a little bit about what you're trying to do.
So we're looking for a, for the boards to consider that us to build a deck in the back, 15 by 20 feet. Unfortunately, in the town of Tewksbury, you have to have a 15 feet setback on either side of the property line. Unfortunately, we don't meet that requirements on the rear. But however, back there, there's nobody back there other than the conservation land, which is the Tewksbury Golf Course.
Yeah, it's just wetland
It's
back
just
there.
wetlands, yeah, conservation land. And I had spoke to the conservation land, the EPA, and they said that we are able to do a deck back there because we within the 50 feet buffer zone that is allowed to us to do. But before we can do that, they need to come out and see if we set it up properly as far as like for the construction site, that we have trellises and fence up, so that way we don't have any debris to fall back into the conservation land. So they need to come out and check before,
So the
prior to do the job.
So the Conservation Commission is involved in this.
Yes.
Good.
Yep, and the reason for us to build a deck, a primary motivation is for our kids because we have a lot of wildlife coming into our area. I have 3 kids. They're very small, ages 5 2 and 1. So we just want to make sure we have a, a nice deck for them to play around with without being out, on the street or walking around. And that's really just a safety reason and one of our primary concern.
We do see
We see a lot
wild
of
turkeys,
wildlife.
deer, foxes, coyotes,
I understand.
and that's the reason that we're requesting to have this deck here.
How far, I'm having trouble reading your print, maybe it's me, maybe it's my age. How far is your house away from the property line now?
Not much, it's probably like 23 feet.
Well, it's written
No,
on the
not
print.
23.
You
It's
just put a
probably
line
closer-
through it, I
closer
can't
to-
read it.
What's it?
16.5 maybe, or 18.5?
Do you guys have our deck?
So,
Or plat
We
plan?
have this,
Okay.
and you put a line right through,
so we have like 23 feet there, 24 feet,
Yeah, 24 feet.
24 feet.
no, that's
So
not,
we'll be encroaching on that
that's not
15,
24 feet.
23.7.
Yeah, technically it's 23.7.
Where are you reading that number?
From the house to the deck.
Yeah, we're right back here, as you can see. That's our house right there.
Right, I'm looking at the line, as I'm looking at this print. Right-hand corner, where you drew the line,
16.5.
Oh, yeah.
You see that one, 16.5?
so your house right now from the property line is 16.5.
This is our house right here, so that's,
Yes, that's correct.
Unless I'm looking at this wrong. Do you have,
Yeah, the house is away from the property line 16 and a half feet.
I'm trying to figure out all these structures on the property.
Oh, okay.
Is it me? Or-
No, so you have your home there, and then there's another structure to the left. Is that a garage? There's a
That's
deck
a
behind
shed.
it.
it's a shed.
It was a shed.
Nope,
Not on the bottom left-hand corner. If you go up more, there's another box that says one story, and then it shows
Oh,
a
that's our
deck.
in-law apartments.
That's
So there's an
Yeah,
in-law
that's an
apartment,
in-law
and there's a deck behind the in-law apartment.
Yeah,
you have
that's,
your house.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's-
but that's not the deck we're referring to.
yeah,
No, I know.
that's against the driveway,
Yeah.
that house there. Yeah, that's in front.
How long has this house been there? When was it built?
In the 1950s?
Did you build any of these?
No.
No,
This is
no,
the
it
way
was,
you bought it?
yeah.
Yep,
It was
this
like
one,
that when
yeah.
we purchased the
Yeah,
house.
this one, we got it back in 2021,
Including the shed?
including the shed,
And
yes.
just,
Is there a fence in the back of your property, or is it just right up to the conservation land?
it's just conservation land.
Conservation land.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick question, when you converse with the conservation, do they give you anything in writing, or how do they determine
They-
or
we
convey
talk-
it to you?
We talked on the phone. I forgot her name, but she said that when we do receive the permit or start doing the deck, they need to come out prior to construction to see if we set up the fences properly for no debris falling in the back of the conservation land.
Yeah, and we do have something in writing from the building department
Oh, yes.
regarding to this too as well.
I was
when we-
asking about the conservation.
You have something in writing from the building department in regards to what?
In regards to the, letting us know that it would be okay to have to be able to allow to get the permit as well.
Could
So,
we see a copy of that?
what's that?
Could we see a copy of that?
It's actually on my phone. I got it from we had our contractor who originally applied for the building permits.
Yep.
And then he had sent me a screenshot of the conversation that he received a message, an email from them, saying that we would have to, go appeal and appear on the board, but we do have that in writing. But I don't have my phone with me. Yeah,
So it's
I don't know.
basically a denial letter.
Denial, yeah.
Yeah, it's a denial letter.
Yeah,
Yes,
it is,
yes,
yeah.
that's
We
what
have
we're.
that.
Yes.
That doesn't say anything about the Conservation Commission.
No, that's a different matter. We talked on the phone, and she said that.
Well, it's a different matter, but it's important to us.
So I'm actually familiar with this property. You're the structure out back, correct? Like where you're putting the deck is going to be, is that your primary
Yes.
residence?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Rob, just on this here, this is the main street, you should be looking at it like this. This is the driveway all the way up. There's a garage right here, and then these are like walkways to this building. This is actually like a covered porch. This looks like it's detached, but it's actually attached to this property right here.
Okay?
So that's their in-law.
Yep.
And this is like a walkway, like covered porch here, but that's how the connecting piece is,
Okay.
being a family suite or a
Yep.
secondary well.
Yeah.
And then this here is all wetlands. It drops down quite
Yeah.
a bit. Probably elevation is a pretty good elevation there.
Yeah.
Down to like the brook. It's on the back side of the golf course. If you're coming up like the first or second hole, it'd be like on the
That's exactly
right
right.
side.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
exactly right.
yes, and we have a long, like, driveway up to the house, yeah.
And
Do
as
they
far
have a
as,
lot of red stakes along your line there from the golf course, separating the golf course from you?
say that again?
Do they have red stakes in the ground separating the fairway and the golf course to you?
There's just quite a
It's just
No,
wetland.
no, no.
Yeah.
quite a bit of vegetation.
Yeah.
You can't even see the golf course.
You know what I mean? That would indicate
Yeah.
that when they make, when they
In
do the
fall,
golf
you might be
courses,
able to see
they
it. but-
have to
Yeah.
designate wetlands on the course.
Yeah, I would say we're at least like 75 yards away from the golf course anyways, if not more.
And it's all wetlands?
Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
wetland.
it's all wetlands. And as far as the EPA, I did talk to her. She said that the only way it will work, that if the boards approve, then we can proceed on through the conservation land.
And nothing in writing on that?
Nothing in
Okay,
writing.
thank you.
But even if we approve the request for the variance, they could still deny you.
Right, they can still deny, they still have to come out and,
Just want to make
Yeah.
sure that's understood.
yes, that's absolutely right.
But we feel optimistic after, a very positive phone call.
Yeah, with the EPA. Because they said that there's a buffer zone that they would allow us to do because we're not doing anything extensive as, we're just doing a deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a 50 or 100-foot no-build buffer zone. I'm not exactly sure which one it is,
Yeah.
but there's definitely a buffer zone.
And in addition, we don't have any neighbors that we would be encroaching in the back. It's all wetland, just to kind of give you guys a picture of how our yard looks like.
I have no further questions.
Yeah, I have no questions myself.
Okay, being a public hearing, we'll open it to the public at this time. Anyone here like to speak? No? Anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that, my wife and I, we love Tewksbury, and we love the community here, and we're looking to stay here, for a long time,
yeah.
so.
Very good. Board members, anything else?
Nothing.
Anyone want to make a motion to close both parts of the hearing?
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any discussion?
None from me.
All right. Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Chow.
Ciao.
That's the Chow, Ken, Nadia, Huang, for a variance under section 5.3.2 of the Tewksbury zoning bylaw for rear yard setbacks to construct a 15 by 20-foot rear deck as shown in plans filed with this board. Said property is located at 80 Algonquin Drive, Assessors Map 85, Lot 80, zoned residential.
I'm voting in favor.
Motion has been made
Second?
and second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 You're all
Congratulations.
set. Good
Okay.
luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
What do you want the voting members on the next one?
The next, we're gonna get on the line, it's gonna be Rob, Mike, and Joe.
I don't have to vote on all of them.
You're not gonna, this will be your last, we'll
Okay.
start.
Nope. The Commissioner's office will be in contact with you.
Thank you.
Who was it again? Me.
Mike, and Joe. Hands off the hook. I'm just going down the line.
I'm going home. I got vacation too in 4 hours.
All right, next item on the agenda Chase Prada. I probably
Close enough.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
On behalf of Jennifer and David Williams for a variance under section 5.3.2 of the Tewksbury zoning bylaws for front setbacks and a special permit under section 8.1.1C to alter a previously non-conforming structure in order to construct a second-story addition and a front door. I'm assuming that should have said patio?
Portico.
Portico? I don't even know what that
Sorry
is.
for the typo.
As shown on plans filed with this board, said property is located at 406 Chandler Street, assesses map 60, lot 100, zone residential. If you could, sir, name and address for the record.
Yep, my name is Chase Piedra. I live at 100 Russell Road, Framingham, Massachusetts.
Tell us a little bit about what you're doing, please.
All right, we are doing a second-story addition on this small little ranch home. Going up one story, we're doing a partial remodel on the first floor to expand the kitchen, do an open concept, and on the second floor, we're going to be adding 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a laundry room. The project will be done in phases. The part of the project that we're doing now is going to be finishing off the master suite, doing the master bathroom upstairs, and the rest of it is going to be insulated but left unfinished there as basically second-level storage space. And then within most likely the next 12 to 24 months, the homeowners are going to have us come back to finish off that remainder of the space up there. But then we're doing a little portico in the front, which is the steps and whatnot.
Explain to me what a portico is.
So a little roof over a front entry, just so like when you're coming in with groceries, you don't have to be standing out there in the rain.
So it's just a roof over existing stairs? You're going to replace the stairs?
Correct. Correct. Yes, I believe we're going to, yes. We have a picture of that in the architectural plans here. It shows a little elevation right there.
What's there now?
Just stairs, a landing and 2 steps, I believe.
Is what you're building going to come out further than the stairs that are already there?
But I believe so, yes, correct.
By how much?
Well, we show the new setback here for where it's going to be. No, we don't. You know what, I would assume if you look at the plot plan, you can kind of see part of the stairs underneath. No, that's showing the wood deck, never mind. Yeah, I'm not sure what the difference is exactly from what's to the front of that step now to the street, as opposed to what we're going to be doing. But I know the new one we had on our page here is portico and 20 feet. Okay, so 15 feet from the front setback to the front portico. That's going to be, I guess, where we would be building that to.
15 feet?
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, we are requesting a reduction in the required reduction in the required front setback to 15. Yes, so we would be at 15. And then 20 feet for the side setbacks, which is equal to what it is now. We're not expanding out on the footprint of the house.
You're putting a second floor on it.
Correct, yeah, but we're not expanding out to the sides, just up.
Is that the same footprint all around? All four
100%,
sides?
yes.
Yep.
So the footprint of the house is not really changing. The portico is going to protrude a little bit more forward,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
nothing else is going to really change.
Correct.
The setbacks were already, when was the house built?
Oh, it was built in like the 50s?
So in the 1950s, it had
Yeah.
the same setbacks, 23 and 21 foot. Nothing's
Yeah.
been changed since then.
Yeah.
Do you know the dimensions of the portico?
You know what, I don't think we have that measurement on the elevation here. I mean, it's looking like it's about 5.5 feet projection.
In
You know, if you look
length.
at the elevation, it's, the bottom step sticks out, it looks like, I mean, maybe 2 inches forward from where the roof is. It's not much.
Can I ask what you're looking at?
Excuse me?
Can I ask what you're looking at?
Oh, yeah, these are the plans.
Do we have, okay.
Oh, sure, yeah, you
Yeah,
should
we
have a
have it,
copy.
yeah.
I can bring it up, too.
I thought you were looking at something different.
No, no.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, no, but we do not have a dimension on that, on how far that roof projects.
Is it me, or are these prints getting even smaller?
Very small.
Yeah, it's not just you.
Blowing them up on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good idea.
It's much better than the hand-drawn ones, though.
Are you replacing the current stairs that are there in the front of the house?
Yes, most likely. We haven't fully, decided on that, but
Is it
I would anticipate we're going to.
Are the
Yeah.
amount of steps going to change?
The amount of steps,
Yeah.
no, because we don't want to have no. No, we're pretty low to the ground there with the front, so. Yeah, the front steps aren't in the best of shape. I would anticipate we're going to just be replacing them.
Is that really the only part of the project that's really in question? Is the front overhang?
It was the front overhang and the whole second-story addition because we were told the whole house itself is existing non-conforming, so,
Really?
yeah. So that's, even if we weren't doing the portico, we would still have to do it. At least that's what I was told, so.
What's your measurement from finished grade to the new peak? Do you know what that would be?
Yeah, I want to say we're about 32. But let me see if I have that on this. 30 feet, hang on a second. I'm going to say it's 30 feet 8 inches. Hang on.
Okay.
30 feet 8 inches for that elevation.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be page 8 of 8. You can see it clear on the plans, but yeah, 30 feet 8 inches.
Oh, yeah, it's on the, yep, I see it now.
Any more questions, board members?
No questions for me?
At this time, being a public hearing, we'll open it to the public. Anyone here would like to speak? Seeing no one?
Motion to close public hearing. Both parts.
Second.
Anything else you'd like to say before we close the hearing?
I mean, just that, obviously I'm the general contractor. I'm doing this for a nice family, husband and wife. They have a child, Elliot, he's 3 years old. They have a growing family, and they love the property. And at first when we started developing the project with them, we've been in design evaluation with them for about 3.5, almost 4 months. And at first we were thinking about a ground level addition, but then it worked out to be a little bit more cost effective and manageable size-wise of the project for the homeowners, at least financially, just to simply go up and then also just create a much grander, impression, a much larger home. It's going to be upping the property value massively, much more than just doing a little addition across the whole back of the house and things like that. So we came to this and, obviously they're doing it in a very practical kind of step-by-step way. And, obviously I just want to be able to do this for them and have them, enjoy it. We do these all over. And, personally, the first time I did a project like this, it was about 12 years ago. I did it on my own house. And, now we've done it for many people. And, I get excited with everyone. And I just want to be able to call them after this and give them some good news. So that's it. But thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Motion has been made to close both parts of the hearing. I think you made the motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so when we're making the motion here, we have to make two motions. Special permit goes first.
Okay. Okay, I'll move for a special permit for, under section 811.c, after previously non-conforming structure in order to construct a second-story addition and a front door portico as shown in the plans filed this board. The property is at 406 Chandler Street. Assessors Map 60, Lot 100, Zoned Residential.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor on the special permit? Aye. Unanimous vote.
Congratulations.
Not
Thank you.
yet.
Oh, that's right.
Now we need a motion for the variance.
Okay, well, I can do that. I move for a motion for Chase Behair on behalf of Jennifer and David Williams for a variance under section 5.3.2 of the Tewksbury zoning bylaw for front setbacks. We already have the special permit, right?
Yeah, throw the property address in there.
Okay, and special permit under 811C. The whole thing?
Throw the address in,
Okay.
at least the
At
address.
406 Chandler Street, Assessors Map 60, Lot 100, Zoned Residential.
Motion's been made. Seconded. All in favor? Aye. Unanimous vote on that. You can call your applicant and give him good news.
All right, thank you very much. Have a beautiful evening.
You too.
Good luck.
You wanna-
Joe and Dan.
Okay. Voting members on this are Mike, Joe, and Dan, not Rob.
You're out.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, American Outside Advertising on behalf of 1775 Andover Street, RI LLC, for a variance under section 6.3.a of the Tewksbury zoning bylaw for setbacks to install a 14 by 48-foot double-sided digital billboard. As shown on plans filed with this board, said property is located at 1775 Andover Street, Assessors Map 53, Lot 38, zoned office research. Name and address for the record, please.
Stephen Ross with American Outside Advertising, 105 Sunset Rock Road, Andover, Mass.
David Modica, 223 Puritan Road, Swampscott, Mass.
Thank you, gentlemen. Tell us what we're here for.
So we're going to do our best to present this because our attorney unfortunately is in the hospital. So I'm going to read the memorandum he wrote, and then I can answer any questions you may have. What we're looking to do is put a digital billboard where the Residence Inn is that would face 495. So, memorandum in support of the application to the Zoning Board of Appeals for variance from the requirements of Section 6.3 of Tewksbury zoning bylaws relative to electronic message signs and billboards. The applicant seeks variance from Zoning Board of Appeals relative to the premises located at 1775 Andover Street. The variance is from the recently enacted Section 6.3 of Tewksbury zoning bylaws concerning the placement of electronic message center signs and billboards. Pursuant to Section 6.3 EMCS/Bs cannot be located within 1,000 feet of residential or multifamily district or use. So the property is 1775 Andover Street. It consists of 8.7 acre lot. It is zoned for office research use and is identified as Tewksbury's Assessor's Map 53, Lot 38. It is currently a Marriott hotel. It has significant frontage along Andover Street, borders mobile gas station / convenience store on the second side, and on the third side borders International Place facing Interstate Highway 495. The property is owned by 1775 Andover Street RI LLC, the Marriott Hotel, pursuant to a deed recorded in Middlesex North Registry of Deeds, Land Registration Section in Certificate 44219, in Book 224, page 44, and Book 32744, page 221, recorded land. There are 11 separate buildings on the property consisting of 1- and 2-bedroom extended stay hotel rooms, approximately 100 units in total. The lot is paved, and the lot is also improved by approximately 100 parking spaces. The Marriott has signed a lease with the applicant and assents to the EMCS/Bs on the property. The electronic boards will be located in the top left-hand back corner of the property near International Place, as far away from Andover Street as possible. It will not interfere with the operation of the Marriott Hotel in any way, nor any of the surrounding businesses. The sign is approximately 100 feet in height, with two 14 by 48 faces angled away from the surrounding businesses and directed toward vehicular traffic north and south on Route 495. The area surrounding the lot is almost entirely commercial. On the right side of the lot is Mobile Gas Station, and next to that is Cracker Barrel. On the other side of the lot consists of unbuildable land. Across the street are additional businesses near Ames Pond. There are no residential zones or properties currently within the town of Tewksbury within the 1,000-foot buffer zone specified in 6.3 of the bylaw. Marriott has applied for and received a special permit from the town of Tewksbury to convert the hotel to about 100 residential apartments, although they have not acted on the same to date. Argument. 3 requirements must be met before the board can grant a variance for relief. First, special conditions affecting the parcel of land but not the district create a hardship to the property. Second, the variance will not be detrimental to the public good. And third, if granted, it will not nullify the intent of the zoning bylaws. First, the issue of 1775 Andover Street stems from the type of structures currently located on property. These 11 structures are dispersed across 8-acre parcels and are surrounded by a roadway and parking spaces. The sign will be in the top left back corner of the lot. Only one said structure will even remotely be close to the billboard, and the structure is angled away from the same. Even if these buildings are converted to apartments, they will not approximate the billboard. They are clustered to the right side of the property. Plus, though these structures may be used residentially, they are still primarily commercial in nature. They have a dual function, but commercial is their primary function. So the dual nature of the structures on the lot are a special condition of this parcel that has no relevance to this parcel but creates a hardship. Second, granting the variance would not be detrimental to the public good. The 2 faces of the sign would be angled to face directly at motorists on Route 495 and away from neighboring properties, commercial and the apartments. So granting it would not negatively impact any apartments at all. No light will shine anywhere near the apartments. The light spillover from the billboard is minimal, if any, and the sign emits no noise at all. Third, granting the variances cannot nullify the intent of the zoning bylaws. Zoning bylaws are implemented to ensure appropriate land use and development occur in appropriate sections of a city or town. The town of Tewksbury recently enacted Section 6.3 of the zoning bylaws to permit electronic message center signs and billboards as a welcomed commercial use in town. And the intent of the bylaws was to permit them in commercial zones far from residential zones. This location on Andover Street, right off 495, is a perfect location for a said sign, and it doesn't affect or impact any residential zones or homes in the least. The intent of the zoning bylaws is not nullified because the sign is located directly where it should be, and the end result will be a great benefit to the entire community. In conclusion, all 3 elements necessary for granting the requested variance for EMCS/B have been satisfied. Therefore, the requested variance should be granted, enabling the applicant to move forward and seek a special permit from the Tewksbury Board of Selectmen.
My question is, what exactly do you need the variance for?
That's a good question. So we went to the Select Board, and currently, we meet all the requirements for this. But if the Residence Inn does convert to residential, they were like, well, we're kind of skirting the issue if this is going to happen. So the suggestion was to get a variance from residential in case this happens.
I believe it would be the 1,000-foot.
So you're going to be within the 1,000 feet if they
Well,
start
if
providing
they
residential
change,
apartments in
if
the
they ever do
area.
this project,
Yeah, if they do it, then we would be
then
closer than 1,000
then we'd be
feet.
closer than 1,000 feet. So they want, even though at this point in time, it is conforming to all of the, bylaws.
Requirements.
6.3, they want to be open to the public because they know that there may be down the road a conversion, which even though right now, we're trying to do it right now, so as right now, it does conform, it's right, but,
What
so there was just that
gets
little,
my attention is the Marriott people were here in front of this board for something, a variance, a special permit or something. So they have a year to act on that.
right.
Correct.
I'd kind of like to know if they're going to do it or not.
This is the third.
So it's
Sign
intended
board
for
for that
flooding
area.
use down the road, right?
What's that, sir?
It's intended for blended use down the road.
I don't know how the town's going to,
Yeah, all right, but that's the intent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so basically, they were concerned with, if they do residentials, say they just do residentials in the front, that they'd still be within the 1,000 feet, and, they just had a problem. So, I mean, the variance would be the best way to go through it, because that way, they just wanted to be transparent, because they knew the Marriott was doing it.
Thinking
It's
about
not
this,
like they
yeah.
were, hiding it. And,
Sorry, sir, didn't we grant them, we granted them that permit to do that? But it hasn't acted on it yet, so,
There's 3 of them in that area.
yeah.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't exist yet, as of right now.
You were here before, weren't you?
yes, we were. We would,
For the same location?
no.
so, no, we went to the Select Board in June, and everybody was basically in favor of it, but they said, right now, we feel like we're skirting the issue in case it does become residential, so we would be more comfortable if you had a variance.
No, are you talking about we're in front of this board? Yes, we were in front of this board about a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago, and I believe I remember you.
I was here, I
Yeah,
remember.
and it was for a height, because we were over at,
Longhorn.
no, it wasn't Longhorn, it was,
No, there was another applicant.
it was at
Longhorn.
where the, that food
Wasn't
place
for an
is.
electronic board?
It was for electronic
It was for
board,
an
and you
electronic
guys approved it. You guys approved it, but what happened was, when we went to do it, there was a man named Sal, I don't know his last name, and he did not, he didn't get his, or he came in for, there was some kind of issue, he didn't get his, he got mad, and so he planned a lawsuit. And, we just could not, we didn't want to go, because he told us, look, I'll fight this all the way, and, from what we understood about him, yeah, he had a lot of money, and we weren't
There
going to,
was 2 at the same
yeah,
time.
there was 2, yes, and so
Might have been
his,
2 applicants for electronic boards at the same meeting.
right,
Yes.
because what happened was that, he's not even in the billboard business. He found out we were doing it, so he got a lawyer, they got onto the thing. He was in a marsh area, there was no bill, he didn't even conform to the state, but he knew if he came, he just stopped us. I mean, that's basically, and it's a good thing for the town. I mean, the town, we've dealt with the town selectmen, we've dealt with the town, there's a very good mitigation package for they want to do sidewalks. It would benefit the town. The select board is just a different board than what we spoke with the last time, and they were just concerned, and I mean, we do this and we know the laws, and usually the laws are what it is right now. And it's conforming right now. But there was a woman on the select board, I don't remember her name, she just wanted to be transparent because she's going to be leaving, and she just doesn't want to do something and then leave that is not transparent. So if we got the variance for the 1,000 feet, then whatever they do with the property doesn't matter. If they change the zoning, it becomes existing non-conforming, and if it falls down, we just can't build it again, so that's our peril. But at least it will be out there, everybody could see it, we advertised it, if there was a problem,
I appreciate you sharing the backstory with us.
So that's the whole story.
Can you tell me what the process is going to look like if we approve a variance for you today?
Yes.
What do you do next?
So we go back to the Select Board. We're actually on the agenda. I don't have the exact date. I think it's the first or second week in August, because they tabled it. They said, all right, we need to have more discussions. We need to figure out what to do. And it was suggested to us that we come in front of you and ask for the variance. So
We put in a variance for you, we approve the variance for you, you go back to the select board, and you have to get their approval again. to
correct.
move this sign.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And they, I mean, it's a comfort thing. They would feel more comfortable, and they still may not vote. I mean, we don't know how they're going to vote.
Right.
But they told us that this is what you should do. We're doing it because we want to be as, we're going to have a relationship with the town after this is all done. So, I mean, it will, I think, I mean, and I'm in this business, but even if they do build residential, it's going to be rental residential. Not that's any different than homeowner, but if we...
Remember their proposal, they weren't changing much. They weren't there because They were just about apartments. anyway.
Exactly, but they get,
Yes.
right, but,
Yes.
you know, the new codes to do that, they're gonna have to do a lot of work.
Right, but they're not gonna.
They're not gonna
it's
change the
tear it down
footprint.
and build in single
Right.
family.
Not at all.
Right.
But, so the thing is, you know, what we told the select board, and they did agree, is there was a couple things. We were giving, they also wanted us to give them a lighting,
Study, which I think
Study
you have a
from-
copy of
from the
that. If you
billboards.
don't, I made, so we commissioned a digital sign company to do a lighting study specifically.
I think you got it right on the top
Or-
there. Yeah, that sort of shows where the light's
Or
gonna
you
be.
need copies?
From Watchfire?
For Watchfire, yeah.
Yeah, we have it.
So based on where the sign would be located, literally no light would affect any of the apartments because it's all faced outward.
Yeah, they've come a long way. And so the way I explain it to people, if you're looking at your computer screen, you can see it, but if you're looking at your computer screen from the side, it looks like it's a black screen. That's very similar to what a billboard looks like if you're looking, so that, we got that. The other thing is when somebody, so if they do it, somebody comes to rent, it's not like it's going to be hidden anywhere. I mean, if they can see it, they're going to see it. It's a big board. And, you know, they have the choice, you know, they can ask what is that? What does it do? Oh, let me drive by at night and look at it. I'll look at the property at night because it might change my opinion to live here. So it's something that it would be a conscious decision. It's not something we're going to build while they're there. We'd build it before they were there. So if we built it before they were there, then it's there when they come and they have the choice to either say, okay, yeah, I want to live here, or I don't want to live here.
You have a lot of faith in people.
Well, you know, I have faith in myself, and I try to tell the truth, and I try to be realistic and you know, reasonable. I
The
think
Marriott
if,
gave you a lease for it, huh?
what's that?
The Marriott already leased you the property to do it.
Yes,
Yeah, we have a signed lease.
They're the ones building the residential.
Yeah.
right.
That was my next question.
And, you know, the town really wants residential, believe it. I mean, I don't know if you guys know that. I mean, you probably do, but I don't know it. But when we were talking to the people from the select board, you know, and I think that we got a letter from the Marriott to some kind of, you know.
They're in favor of the
say,
board.
Yeah, we want the board because it's going to help mitigate some of our costs because, you know, we're paying the rent and we're going to be paying, so it's sort of like a win-win for everybody. But, you know, a variance is not needed today, but it would be needed afterwards. So it's sort of like they want us to get the variance just in case.
Right, but if you're, and I get it, I get what they're doing, the select board. There's an application out there for changing that to a residential,
Right,
but it's not yet.
right.
If it was, you'd need a variance, but it's not, so you don't. Because you conform right now the way it is. You
I agree,
conform.
I agree.
Correct.
But they're concerned and they just want to be over cautious. So you don't have to give us the variance on the residential. I mean, you can just give us the variance for the three topics that we get and, you know, not specify, I believe. I mean,
No, we need a variance for the residential.
Oh, so,
Yeah.
okay.
Because on the application, what was advertised is 6.3.A.
Which it meets. Right now.
You're more than 25 feet from the highway, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
We currently meet all the requirements, but because this property is in flux, they wanted us to get a variance from residential.
Are we allowed to do that? I just don't even know if we're allowed to do that because it's not zoned residential. So we're going to approve a variance in case the zoning changes in the future.
Well, if you remember, when the applicant was looking to do one behind Longhorns, there was one house that was like 998 feet away. So just because they're not in residential doesn't mean they wouldn't affect residential. So in my opinion, we could give them a variance for it. The selectmen are asking for it.
Are the selectmen asking us to give them a variance to cover when the zoning changes to residential?
Yeah.
And that's something that we want to do?
Well, that's the decision we have to make.
I mean, if it doesn't become residential, you guys can just go ahead with your board.
Yes, sir.
You can just go to the select board and get your approvals and
Yes.
So what confuses me is they can do that right now.
right now.
But they're waiting.
We can. But like I told you, the select board just wants to be, everything's on, they just want to be very, very open to the community that this is, they know about it. You gave the, the variance or whatever for the Marriott, so they know about it, and they know that the Marriott has been to different boards with an intention to do it. So they just want to make sure that, they're open in their, they know they could do it. They knew, but they just want to be very open and transparent.
You understand our position, though? They're asking us to give you a variance for something that doesn't exist yet.
Right. That may,
They're asking us to give you a variance.
right.
To say you're closer than 1,000 feet to residential.
Which will cover you if
That's
it
not
does
there.
change to
Right,
residential.
that may exist.
Correct.
So they're looking to get something before it happens. But, I mean, when I talked to the selectmen, I talked to one of the selectmen today, it's a, putting, did the chicken come first, the egg or the chicken, but, the financial, benefits to the community if this does get done. And we've been trying to do one in Tewksbury for years. And, we've hashed out a very, very nice
Grant agreement.
And, I mean, for a simple, they don't want to act unless you act, and I understand what you're saying, but you have the power to act. And it's really, I mean, you can act on the distance, and if the distance comes up, it does, and if it doesn't come up, it didn't need a variance anyway, so. So, I mean, that's the way I look at it. I know it may not be that simple for you because I don't do what you do, but, I mean, to me, it's, it's pretty simple, but.
When do you plan on building it?
We get, well, let's be optimistic, right? Everything goes smooth the minute we get the state permit, which would take probably 2.5 months, probably November. Is November?
December.
Yeah.
December.
They don't have any plans on doing residential yet. They're still kicking it around.
Well, they're kicking around. I mean, I think there's, I mean, look at the interest rates, I mean, all the things that are going on. I'm sure that's put a lot of people, I mean, there's a lot of projects in Boston that just shut down because, but, I mean, is there intention to do it? I think it is.
Well, they only have a year to act on.
Right. Is there, yeah, I mean, are they going to do the whole thing right away? I don't know. Maybe, like I said, maybe they'll do, a few, rent them out, and get some money and do the rest, but, I mean, everybody's trying to just be very, very, I mean, we could have told them, I mean, we could have said, listen, let us go and get a permit, and then you go for your application. Now it's existing non-conforming, but we weren't thinking like that. We were just thinking that, okay, let's try to do this, so everybody was moving at their own pace, because we didn't think it was going to be an issue like that at the selectmen, to tell you the truth. We didn't think that it was going to come out with the what if. But, the what if did come up, and so here we're dealing with it.
I wonder if they're concerned that if you build that, then they will have a hard time building their residential.
No, we've had that conversation with the property owner, that, currently the way the regulations here are that a billboard can't be within 1,000 feet of residential, but it doesn't say anything about residential being within any distance from a billboard, so they should have absolutely no issues with that, because we talked about that before they signed the lease. They said, look, could this put us in a situation where our project wouldn't be able to move forward? And we said, look, we know that's your priority. Here's how we see it. You know, they talk to their attorneys, they go, no, this is good.
But this isn't stopping you from moving forward right now.
Well, if
This
we,
variance that you're requesting is not stopping you guys
Yes,
from
it
moving
is.
forward.
it is,
Why?
because the
We went
select
to the
board
select
will
board
not
already.
vote
And
unless we get the
they
variance.
tabled it. And
They're asking for a variance that, for the zoning, you don't need a variance for right now.
And I brought that up at the select board meeting. I said, as of today, as of this snapshot right now, we meet all the
What
requirements.
was the response?
They said, well, you know, it looks like they're already starting to advertise for apartments here, you know, so we're kind of skirting the issue of what the distance is to residential, you know, and they said, let's table it.
They just want to be 100%
You
transparent.
just said that they're advertising for apartments already at the Marriott?
That's what one of the select board people said. So,
I think their advertising means they were coming in because they must have had to put it in the newspaper when they were coming in for, you know,
Just like you did,
yeah. So, I mean, I think that's what, it was, like I told you, I mean, it was just the fear of transparency. I mean, the woman said, she said it, you know, I'm leaving, and I don't want to leave and have people think that I did this and then just left. So she was just being cautious, but her caution could just, you know, I mean, it could kill the deal, which the Marriott, or the people from the Marriott, they call it the Marriott property, but the Marriott people, you know, are looking for the rental income to help with their construction. The town would, you know, I mean, it's $1 million package for the town over 20 years. I mean, it's like Samantha, you know, and so, I mean, you know, I think it's reasonable. I mean, you could just, look, I mean, you can give it to us on that. There might be a structure, I mean, 990 feet down, you know, that I don't
If they
know.
build residential, you're going to be 200 feet away from it.
Oh, no, well, no, I know that. I know, but only 200 feet away from so, you know, so many, because it's 8.5 acres a lot. So, I mean, 1,000 feet and 8.5 acres is not that, you know, not that tough to get beyond, but no, we know. I mean, you know, and like I said, we could have just came here, got the permit, and then had the Marriott come out a couple months later and say, hey, we want to change it to residential, and this is what we're going to do, and you want the housing, you would say, well, there's a billboard there, and all that would happen then, the billboard would just become existing non-conforming, like half of them are in the city of Boston. So we just would never be able to do any structural work on it in the future. But we didn't do that. We came, you know, just came and did what we did, thinking that it wouldn't be a big deal because it still meets all of the zoning characteristics that you guys asked for. So, you know, it's sort of like I say, the chicken before the egg, which one came first, you know? And that's where we are. But, you know,
What do you want to do, board members? Any more questions? Want to continue it? Want to vote on it? I'm not voting, so whatever you guys want to do.
No further questions.
Yep, I have no further questions.
Just a brief discussion.
Let me open it up to the public first, then we can do a discussion. Being a public hearing, we'll open it to the public. If anyone here would like to speak, seeing absolutely no one. Do you want to close both parts of the hearing, or do you want to have a discussion first? We can do it either way. You can have a
Okay with a
discussion.
discussion, if you want to have a discussion.
Have a discussion.
I appreciate what they're trying to do. They're trying to be preemptive in case the zoning changes to residential, but now if it does change to residential, then who's protecting the residents that are moving into those apartments from the billboard that's supposed to be 1,000 feet away? And we're also giving them a variance for something that's not real or exists right now.
That's my issue.
They could go build that board.
And that might never change.
It might. They might never go, it might never become residential, and they'd be fine. They can build their board. But to
then
hold this
that would leave
variance,
these people in limbo until that happens, which could be never. And then the project's not getting on. You know, the Marriott came here, what, 8 months ago? You know, to have more, and maybe 6 months, I'm not quite sure the timeline, but, and Rob, you said they have a year to act?
Have a year to act on it.
Yeah.
I know
It's
that
definitely 6 months anyway, so we're already 6 months ahead.
they're
I
working.
think I had a meeting last fall. I was one of the members that went and met in the fall to review the property, walk through it on what they were doing, so. At that point,
That was a while ago.
yeah.
That whole area and where that Marriott is changing all to residential. Residence Inn is changing all to residential, 1, 2, 3-bedroom apartments, right?
In which we, like electronic signs, because like the Cracker Barrel has their sign, but it's not electronic, right? It's just a fixed sign, yeah.
Devil's advocate, what's the harm?
The hum is, it becomes residential, and those people have that sign outside their window.
Right, but like the applicant said, they'll see it, and they can make a,
Whether they see it or not, it's do we allow it or not?
right, but
Are we allowing that? And are we giving them something to
But like-
hold on to as a just in case down the road? So we're basically saying,
what if it never happens?
perfect, they don't need a variance.
Yeah, but it's time. It could be 2 years or let the year go out, and the Marriott reapplies and has another year.
And we can always send it back to the,
People aren't gonna be able to move on it. It's like building a house under a power line. I wouldn't buy a house under a power line, but people do.
they would be able to move on it. They would just have to get the selectmen to say yes to it.
Yep.
Can I just say one?
Still an open meeting.
Oh, okay, thank you. To your point, the sign is probably 100 feet tall. Those buildings are only about 20 or 30. So if somebody did look out their window and look up, it would just be like the computer, the lighting study tells you that. So you really wouldn't see the lighting. What you would see, and it's where the position of the pole is, it's not near a window, it's on the back end of one of the houses that, way at the end near 495, you would just see a pole, similar to a telephone pole, a light pole. It would go up, unless you looked up.
How big are these at the base?
The base there.
Oh, no, you would see the pole.
55 inches maybe, the base?
Telephone pole, door pole.
No, but my point is, you would see a pole. My point is, like, if you looked out your window, you wouldn't be looking
No,
into
there'd be no light. The backside of the sign has no light emitting from it at all.
So
And that's what,
the billboard only is lit up on one side?
Correct.
It's not lit up on both sides?
so.
Well, each face is lit up, but the back of the billboard, there's no
If
light.
you're 495, these sides, two sides, are where the light comes out. The back side, completely black. So there's absolutely no light, and that's the lighting study we did. Absolutely no light hits the residents.
Yeah, so.
You're
they-
going to point one sign on the northbound traffic? and
Correct.
That's
the other
correct.
sign on
So
the
it'd be
southbound
Exactly.
like-
traffic?
it would be,
Yeah.
the signs would be like this, and here's the houses, so.
And this is all black.
The lighting is
on
on
the
this
outside.
side. So you wouldn't see it anyways, but when you looked up, if it was a dark night, you'd see the pole go up, and you
They're
may or may not be able to see.
They're going to see the Cracker Barrel
Yeah.
sign instead of ours. They're not going to see ours. They'll see the Cracker Barrel.
You will see the pole, and you'll know that it's not a
And we'll
telephone
paint it a
pole.
dark color.
Yeah. No, yeah, we usually paint them like a
Black.
dark brown or black.
I'm sorry?
Can you go poleless?
Paul, you show us how to do that. We'll start a business.
Maybe someday, yeah. Maybe someday, but not now.
We're informed by, I think, the Marriott representatives that in the town, that I think we're at this meeting, I didn't call it, this was going to fulfill some requirements in the maybe 40B or, and so they were, I would say to the point that there are going to be residents there because the requirements are going to have to be filled. And that's one of the locations that was going to help meet the requirements, was that location, as I recall.
And I feel too that Marriott, why would they be entertaining these people if it was gonna put a squash on something to do that they're trying to do in the future with this residential, whether they backed it on it or not?
It wouldn't squash it. It would just become residential, and the sign would be there, and they'd have the variance to justify it.
Yeah, their intention is to do it. Their intention is to work within the city and do it. It's just the time, the timing, they don't know. So,
Changeover too, they talked about the length of time it takes to change over a unit for occupancy.
I agree.
Get the occupancy permits.
I agree. And that could be time, but, once they start, they're going to be there. So the intent is, and I feel as though if you think about it, they did start. They started the process of changing it. So therefore, at some point, it will be changed, because I mean, you have to look at things like, people don't come out and spend money on designs and and lawyers if they don't intend on doing something. So I just think everybody's just being honest here. I mean, it's going to happen, we just don't know what the timing's going to be. So, you
When
know,
that does become residential, the Marriott's not going to be running that anymore. Is that going to become a town thing?
oh no, I think the. I think the
They're gonna continue,
gentleman-
they're gonna own
I
it.
think we're calling it the Marriott.
So it's a private
Because,
company.
I think it might be like a management team.
yeah, it's going to be, yeah, they'll have a management company,
And
just
you're
like,
paying a lease to the Marriott to put the sign up.
we're paying the lease to the owner of the property.
1776 Andover Street, RI LLC, yes.
Or if
And
hire
they
a
own the
management-
Marriott.
yeah, if they hire the
They
management
own that
company.
property.
They own the Marriott.
They
Yes,
own
they
that
own the
property.
property,
They own the
yeah.
buildings, the property, everything.
You know, so we'll pay them, and then if they're paying a management company to run the property, you know, basically the discussions with these, look, we're trying to do a project, if you guys could put a billboard here, it would really help us with, you know, some of our, you know, our costs, because the lease is an expensive lease. And, you know, but this is our primary thing, this is what we want to do, you know, so we said, okay.
Who was
And-
that came to you and said that?
This is the owner of the,
Rosenberg,
Okay.
so,
Yeah, Mr. yeah.
and his daughter Jessica.
Jessica is, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, so that was the discussion. So it was a discussion, and the way I look at it is everything was just very transparent. I mean, you know, we're not trying to come here, like I said, we didn't come here before when you didn't know what was going on and have you give us a variance or not even come to you and then go to this, you know, the town, right? We knew what was going on. We still thought we could do it by right because of, but when the select woman said, no, you know, I'm concerned about this because they have come, we know that what their intentions are, you know, we want you to just go to the zoning board and say, okay, look it, you know, we know they got this stuff.
And they all said, because there's the free public service time for the town to advertise whatever you want, meaning senior housing, immunizations, recycling, that was very attractive, but also the revenue stream was attractive because it's a complete pure revenue stream because we don't use any police, no fire, no ambulatory, we don't add any cars to the road, we don't burden the school, so it's a pure revenue stream, and they're like, we need to figure out a way to capture this. But they were uncomfortable without the variance, so.
What do you mean by pure revenue stream? Not using
So we've
Well, no,
talked to
we don't need any-
the town manager's office, and we were involved in the last billboard that was supposed to go up in, at Longhorn, so
The
we,
billboard itself is not going to cause it.
correct.
Right, you're not
Yes.
gonna-
Yeah, so,
That's
the-
not diggers, all right.
yeah, the grant agreement is.
The grant agreement is 50,000 is 50,000.
Yeah.
Not to the residents moving in. Right.
Correct, correct.
You know, and then you get public service, you know, over that. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, if you say no, which is, you know, naturally, you can. I mean, that's what, you know, you can go either way. It's a sin because, you know, you lose many, many good things. And it's just not, it's not an issue of do you want it or not. I know the select people want it. I mean, I've dealt, and I know the city manager, you know, the manager,
Town manager.
you know, I mean, we sat down for hours and hours and hashed out a very nice mitigation. It's just, this is just, it's one of those situations that, you know, what do you do?
Are the benefits, when you guys came here in front of the board for the Longhorn sign, there was a bunch of benefits to the town. We could use some of the marketing. There was a revenue stream for the town. Is that still in
Oh,
play?
yes.
We mirrored that one. That
Same
was what
exactly.
they wanted to make sure that what we were offering mirrored what we would have done had we built the other sign. And so the answer is yes.
And I
Short
think-
answer is yes.
I think some of the advertising time was a little better this time around. So it's actually a little better than it was.
I don't have any other questions.
I'm good.
All right, we've already opened it to the public. If you'd like to take a vote on it, then I need somebody to make a motion to close both parts of the hearing.
Close vote, pass.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Now the voting members on this are Mike, Joe, and Dan, not Rob.
Right.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve American Outside Advertising on behalf of 1775 Andover Street, RILC, for a variance under section 6.3.a of the Tewksbury zoning bylaw for setbacks to install a 14 by 48 double-sided digital billboard as shown on plans filed with this board. Said property is located at 1775 Andover Street, Assessors Map 53, Lot 38, zoned office research.
I will second.
Motion's been made and seconded.
Aye.
Approve. Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very
Motion
much.
passes. Unanimous vote.
Thank you very much. You have a nice day or night.
Good luck. Okay, no correspondence, no business. Any new business, board members? Any old business? Our next meeting is August 29th, 2024. Comcast Channel 6, Verizon Channel 33.
I'd like to make a motion to close.
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.